Hi guys, this is a quick video of the prototype I've built, which is kind of how I envisaged it. I'll just explain it as I go. So from this angle, you're looking from this guy's point of view, and you can see the whole world as 3D. And when it goes to this player, you could look from his point of view, something like that. And this player, you could look from his point of view, something like that. Now, this world I've used is very cool looking and advanced. This is one I've actually paid for. That's why it looks so good. If we make our own, they might not look quite as complicated and beautiful as this, because we have to use landmarks and stuff, and I can decorate it with trees and things like that, but it might be worth considering using pre-made environments like this if you want the best quality. I mean, they maybe not even have to be real. You could say this was Tuscany or something, or you could even make up fake places. But if they have to be completely real, then I'll have to build things a little bit like this using the models that we can buy to represent the landmarks and stuff. So what I've been experimenting with is the hand movement. So if I go and this guy, for example, so we were talking about how he could grab dominoes and things, but actually I've found a great way to do it. If I press this, I mean, it's not perfect yet, obviously, because a lot of work needs to be done, but you can see this guy is going for this domino here. And if I move the domino, his hand actually moves with it very nicely. So if he was taking one out of his deck, or whatever you want to call it, he could move over, grab it from there, have a grab animation on the hand, obviously, and then place it somewhere like that. So you can see it follows his hand, which is really good. One problem being that if he had to reach over here, for example, he can't, because his arm is just not long enough. So we could either have him stand up and lean over the table so he could reach it, or the other thing we were discussing, which would be kind of zoom in like this and move the whole body so that the arm would reach down here. Of course, that might not work because you can see his legs and his hands here at the top, so that would look weird if all that moved. But if you were really zoomed in like that, then you wouldn't see his arms and his leg move really, and he could probably reach all the way over. But yeah, this ability to follow that is pretty pivotal. I was up all night actually working on that, and I can show it with this other guy here. This guy is going for that domino there, which is that one. Again, he could take from his deck. Obviously this floor is a little bit there, but his hand's through the desk, but we could fix that. He could take it from, say, reach over, pick it up from here and move it over to here, and then again a hand animation to show him slamming it down or just placing it down if he's not won or whatever. As you can see, the hand does follow very nicely. From his point of view, that sort of thing. So we could have a camera where you can pick different camera angles, or it plays like that, and then from when you're playing it plays like point of view like that, and then when it goes to the other player, let's say it's the guy on the far side of the table, you could have it like actually animate smoothly. This I'm doing by hand, which is why it's not smooth, but it would be if I did it via code. animate smoothly to him for his go, and he would be after a domino. I've just coded them to pick up one at the moment, but they can go after any domino. So he would be after this one again, which will follow his hand, and he could pick up from his deck by going like that. Well, his hat's getting in the way there. We could turn off his head when you don't see it, so the hat wouldn't get in the way. Let's see, he picked one up from his deck and he reached up like that, and then went along and placed it like that. Again, obviously, like I said before, as soon as the domino gets out of range, he can't reach it. So he would either have to lean over the table, which could be done, and I think might look alright, or, like just discussed, go into a zoomed in view like that and just have either move his whole body or just have a disembodied hand that actually can move over there. And that would work if you had his arm cut up into a separate object, and in this view it appears in the same place, but then it can move where the domino is. It won't go out of range of his grasp, if you see what I mean, which we can do. So that probably would be the best way. Yesterday I was thinking he could stand up and lean over, but it might look weird. But yeah, disembodied arm that just slides in here. It might look a little bit odd because it would be a really long arm if he was reaching all the way over here. But in a way I can't see how else it would work. And I was trying to remember playing real dominoes, and I was thinking, how do you get to the other side? You must just reach over the board or something. But yeah, you can let me know what you think about that. Like, imagine his arm really stretched all the way out to here. Might look a bit odd unless the camera followed it quite zoomed in, so you didn't notice that his arm was really long. It just follows it like that. But I'm sure we'll work out a way to do that, probably with a disembodied arm and the camera following it, so it doesn't look like his arm is really stretched. But yeah, that's cool how his hand can follow that, and I'm going to make it look better and have hand animations and stuff, but it's actually better than I thought, the following of the body. And as you can see, the level looks brilliant. So you could have, like, it could, as an introduction, the camera could spin around like that and then zoom in to the table, things like that. But as I say, this environment is very, very nice and fully built 3D and looks great, and might have to be reduced in detail for if we were to run this on a tablet or a mobile. But I'm sure we could have environments as good as this. But I don't know, it would be good to use pre-made environments like this that already look amazing. And I've added like clouds and distant mountains and things like that just to make it look that little bit better. But obviously if we were building ones from scratch, building 10 of these might be difficult to make them look good and in full 360, so that's up to you. But it's a very attractive environment. I love it. And I have a lot of these. You have medieval places, I have western towns, I have haunted mansions, things like that. So it's something to consider, that you could actually reuse the ones I've got that are all as good as this and would look amazing. But then you'd have to say that the level was, you know, haunted mansion in London or something, or the different time zones and things like that. So it might change. It might be different to what you want actually. If you've got your heart set on Big Ben, for example, we could have Big Ben over here behind them, and the Houses of Parliament, and a bridge, and some water, and clouds in the distance and things like that. But we might not be able to get stuff, say, all over here and behind them and that. We could have distant mountains like this sort of thing on all the levels, but it wouldn't really represent what central London looks like. Or we could have, you know, London buildings around the back, around here, and just roughly have that, and a couple of London phone boxes or something, just to convince people. Because even in Street Fighter, the locations weren't real; they were just sort of based on what you might see if you went to Brazil or something. and we can turn their hands off at the moment, so you can see that they animate. They're sitting and they can look around and things like that. We can also have them, stand up and do anything we want. I'll demonstrate that quickly now. If I was to bench sitting idle, if I was to select, it's him there on the right, different animations, you can see I have compatible animations. I mean, these aren't designed to work right now. These are just to show you that he can move and do different things. So dancing there, and the quality is awesome, as I'm sure you'll agree. But I mean, he won't be going through the chair and things like that. We'll have to pick the right animations. And this, of course, unless you wanted to use pre-made characters like this, I actually designed this character myself a couple of years ago. But this, in your demo, would be the Domino guys that we have already discussed. They would be built up in 3D, and they would look like that, but they would be a bit more cartoon style, I guess, because they're basically a rectangle with different features and stuff, with arms and legs. Or you could go that route and use pre-made characters like this. Where's he gone? He's over here. There's a sort of test thing I've been playing with. Where is he there? Yeah, that baby thing is, I was just testing an animation out on something. So yeah, you can have, let's have a look if he does other things. He's jumping around right now. But some of the animations actually change his location. So you can see there he's like climbing a ledge and that. So any animation that I have we can use, which is many thousands. And you can see this sort of thing. This is meant to be pushing something. And digging, etc. Of course we don't need these. I'm just showing that the models are capable of doing some of these cool things. That's disappointed, for example. It starts there. I'd need to loop it, but that could be when they lose and things like that. Drinking. Dying. Eating. What's that? Yeah, that's eating. Anyway, that's ecstatic. That you could use that when he wins, for example, right? He looks, he's cheering in the air, jumping. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the prototype. Hope you like it and think it's good. Thanks a lot.